Okay, so I'm going to show everyone how to trim. These are the pieces from last week. Everyone should still be on there. This one is a little wet, so it's a little harder to pull off of here. But I'm going to show you how to trim your 2 jar pieces. First, let's make sure that they fit. Okay, mine fits in there. So I'm going to start with my lid. So basically you want to kind of look where the middle of your wheel is, and you hold your finger until you can kind of see that this is centered. Okay, it's really far away from that side, but it's not far away from here. I'm going to push this way. Okay, that's better. And another way to do that is to use your needle tool. Now, you don't want to gouge this thing down here. You want to gently go around. And I look at it and I think to myself, okay, that looks pretty good. Maybe a little bit more this way. Push that down. All right, that's pretty good. Now, my wheel is a little wet, so it's going to hold that down. Sometimes that's helpful. And then you take 3 pieces of clay, and you're going to gently push that on there, trying not to move it. And that's going to hold your piece in place. Now, I like to use this bigger one first, and I'm just going to trim my edges off to make this round. And the big thing is you have to be pressing down. If you're just pressing to the side, it's absolutely going to press it off of here. So it's the pressure of this and the pressure of your finger pushing down. I'm gonna let you guys go. Oh, you can't get closer. I'm gonna move you guys a little closer here. Okay, so I'm pressing down. I'm on my wheel. My hands are always kind of touching. This is my tool. Make sure it's clean. Mine was not clean. And I'm gently pushing this on the edge and pressing with my right hand to shape this. As you get your little pieces, rather than letting them fling everywhere, I throw them into my water bucket. It's helpful for cleanup later. And I'm gonna come around and I'm gonna kind of clean this up. So basically, I'm just rounding this edge off. Now, you can go back with your finger or your sponge, kind of clean those lines up a little bit. You can use your metal rib, clean things up a little bit. There's my lid. We're gonna cover this back up so it will be ready to attach my knobs to it next week. And then I'm going to do my jar lid. Same thing. Gonna kind of put it on there. Put my finger, hold it in place. That's definitely not right. Then I'm gonna take my needle tool, draw a little circle on here. Okay, definitely needs to move this way. I'm gonna wipe that off, do it again. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now I'm gonna have to put my little wads of clay back in place and try not to move this. And use my tool again to clean this bottom up. Ideally, your inside of your pot will reflect the outside of your pot. So if the inside's flat, you kind of want that outside to be flat. Gonna clean up this bottom here. And if you want to be really fancy, you can pull your other one out too. And this other one can do 2 things. You can trim with this, it trims a lot off, or I'm going to use my flat edge And I'm going to gently put a little line here. It's probably best to do it from your pot because what I just did made it not the same. And then you can clean the interior out. This is a little more advanced, so Ellen, anybody else can try it, but it's a little harder. You can go in with your finger, but if you're gonna turn the bottom, you need to make sure it's pretty thick down there. You can also put a foot in. I messed them up. There we go. I can put a little foot in too. Then you could clean that up. So this is another way that you can shape things, that you can take clay off of your bottom when it gets done. And when you guys get done, you'll have trimmed bottoms. You may have to gently put those back in place. Clean that up a little bit. I'm going to clean that with my sponge. And then I'm going to go back and make sure that my lid fits in there. If my lid didn't exactly fit in there, you could actually trim it up and you could trim some of the edge off. I think I am okay. I'm going to make sure that fits. I'm not going to leave them attached because I'm afraid that they'll glue together. But that's going to be my little jar for next